In the quiet dawn of a soul seeking more, semen retention whispers as a hidden pathway to divine embrace. Imagine the warmth of God's light filtering through the cracks of disciplined restraint, filling the heart with an unspoken promise of blessings yet to unfold. This is not mere abstinence. It is a tender surrender, a love letter to the Creator, signaling readiness for His abundant grace. Hold on, before we unlock the real power of semen retention, hit that subscribe button and join our Telegram channel, link in description. We drop daily wisdom, success tools, and energy secrets only shared there. Don't watch from the sidelines, become part of the movement. Feel the gentle pull of ancient wisdom, where conserving life's essence becomes an act of reverence. In the stillness of retention, a man senses his spirit awakening, like a flower turning toward the sun. God's blessings arrive not as thunder, but as soft rains nourishing the parched earth of the soul, drenching it in peace that surpasses understanding. Picture the heart's quiet chamber, once cluttered with fleeting desires, now swept clean. Semen retention carves out space, an empty vessel yearning for heavenly filling. Here, God's love pours in unbidden, overwhelming, transforming ordinary days into tapestries woven with threads of favor and unexpected joy. Embrace the emotional surge of vitality that rises like a tide within. With each day of retention, energy coils not in tension, but in harmonious power, a sacred fire tended for divine purposes. Blessings manifest as clarity in decisions, warmth in relationships, and a profound sense of being held by an invisible, loving hand. Sense the intimacy of this practice with God, a private covenant sealed in the depths of night. As semen is retained, so is faith deepened. The body becomes a temple where the spirit dwells more fully. God's response: a cascade of blessings, health restored, dreams ignited, doors swinging open on hinges of grace. Allow tears to well at the beauty of self-mastery aligned with heavenly will. Retention is no cold discipline. It is a passionate devotion, a lover's fidelity to the divine. In this fidelity, blessings bloom like wildflowers after spring rain, coloring life with hues of hope in serendipitous encounters. Feel the heartbeat quicken with purpose, no longer scattered by indulgence. Retained essence fuels a focused gaze heavenward, and God, in His infinite tenderness, meets that gaze with eyes of compassion. Blessings follow, promotions unearned by merit alone, healings that defy medicine, love that mirrors eternal bonds. In the vulnerability of restraint, find strength wrapped in God's arms. The ache of denial melts into the comfort of His presence, a balm for the weary. Here, blessings are not distant rewards but immediate companions, whispers of encouragement. Bursts of creativity, the sweet assurance of being chosen. Touch the emotional core where retention meets redemption. Past excesses fade like shadows at noon, replaced by a luminous path. God's forgiveness flows freely, but retention amplifies it, turning regret into gratitude. Blessings emerge as restored relationships, inner peace that anchors storms, and a future bright with promise. Breathe in the serenity that settles like morning mist. Retention quiets the mind's chatter, creating silence where God's voice resonates. Emotional depths are plumbed, revealing layers of joy untouched by worldly pleasures. Blessings arrive as insights that heal old wounds, connections that feel predestined, and a heart overflowing with thankfulness. Envision the soul's expansion, stretching beyond physical limits into spiritual realms. Retained life force becomes a bridge, and across it walks divine favor. Feel the emotional high of synchronicities, chance meetings that change trajectories, opportunities that align perfectly as God's loving orchestration. Let compassion swell for the self in this journey. Retention demands gentleness, not harshness. It is a nurturing act, like a gardener tending soil for divine seeds. God's blessings respond to this care, renewed vigor in body, empathy in spirit, and an emotional resilience that weathers life's tempests. Sense the profound loneliness dissolving in retention's embrace. What was isolation becomes communion with the Almighty. Emotional barriers crumble, inviting God's intimate touch. Blessings pour forth as friendships deepened. Solitary moments filled with presence, and a love that needs no external validation. Feel the fire of passion, redirected, not extinguished, but purified. Retention channels desire into devotion, and God honors this holy alchemy. Emotional fulfillment comes in waves, artistic inspirations that glorify Him. Acts of service that echo eternity, blessings that satisfy the soul's deepest hunger. In the quiet reflection of retained days, discover a wellspring of gratitude. Each moment without release is a thank you to the giver of life. God's heart is moved. Blessings multiply, like loaves and fishes, financial provisions, health, miracles, emotional wholeness that radiates to others. Touch the tenderness of vulnerability before God. Retention strips away pretenses, laying bare the soul's true longing. In this exposure, divine love envelops like a warm blanket. Blessings manifest as forgiveness for flaws, strength in weakness, and an emotional security rooted in eternal acceptance. Imagine the emotional crescendo as retention builds over weeks. Energy peaks not in explosion but in sustained glow, illuminating paths unseen. God's blessings shine through. Career leaps born of focused intent, relationships enriched by presence, a heart attuned to heavenly frequencies. Feel the joy bubbling from disciplined depths, a laughter that springs from alignment with divine will. Retention transforms duty into delight, and God delights in return. Blessings dance in unexpected travels, creative breakthroughs, emotional highs that rival any temporal ecstasy. Embrace the emotional healing that retention facilitates. Old addictions lose grip as new life pulses within. God's restorative power flows unimpeded, mending fractured emotions. Blessings emerge as peace in chaos, joy in sorrow, and a resilient spirit that inspires those around. Sense the magnetic pull of a retained soul toward abundance. Like attracts like, purity draws purity. God's blessings are drawn inextricably wealth and wisdom, richness in relationships, emotional plenitude that overflows into generous giving. In the sacred rhythm of retention, find emotional harmony with creation. Body, mind, and spirit sync in worshipful cadence. God conducts this symphony, infusing blessings, harmony in home, success in endeavors, a heart singing praises amid daily graces. Feel the profound love affair unfolding between practitioner and provider. Retention is the language of devotion, spoken in silence. God's response is eloquent blessings, as poetic as psalms, emotional depths explored in safety, a union that transcends the physical. Touch the awe of witnessing transformation. Retained essence ferments into spiritual gold, and God, the great alchemist, multiplies it. Emotional riches abound, confidence born of conquest, humility and victory, blessings that humble and exalt simultaneously. Envision nights filled with peaceful slumber, dreams laced with divine messages. Retention clears the channels, and God's whispers become clear. Emotional comfort wraps the sleeper. Blessings awaken with dawn clarity for the day, strength for challenges, love that sustains. Let empathy expand in retention's fertile ground. Understanding others' struggles deepens, and God blesses this growth. Emotional connections forge stronger, communities form around shared light, blessings circulate in a cycle of mutual uplift. Feel the emotional liberation from societal chains. Retention defies norms not in rebellion but in higher obedience. God's approval shines as freedom blessings of authenticity, courage, and conviction, a life lived boldly under divine favor. In the gentle unfolding of retained months, sense maturity blooming, emotional intelligence sharpens, wisdom accrues. God nurtures this growth with blessings, mentorship opportunities, influential platforms, a legacy of emotional and spiritual wealth. Breathe the fresh air of renewed purpose. Retention aligns desires with destiny, and God's plan unfolds emotionally charged. Blessings arrive as passions ignited, callings clarified, a heart pounding with the thrill of divine adventure. Touch the sacred fire of inner peace amid external turmoil. Retention builds an emotional fortress, impenetrable yet open to God. Blessings garrison within, unshakable faith, joy, independent of circumstances, love that conquers fear. Imagine the emotional reunion with one's true self, long obscured by indulgences. Retention peels away layers, revealing God's image. Blessings celebrate this revelation. Self-love, rooted in divine love. Acceptance that heals. Purpose that fulfills. Feel the surge of gratitude that retention amplifies. A heartfelt orchestra praising the giver. God's heart swells in response. Blessings rain, down provisions in scarcity, miracles in mundanity, emotional ecstasy and devotion. Sense the emotional depth of community formed in retention's light. Brothers in faith share burdens and triumphs, and God multiplies the bond. Blessings shared, collective breakthroughs, supported growth, a family under heavenly paternity. In the quiet victory over temptation, find emotional exaltation. Each triumph is a hymn, and God joins the chorus with blessings. Elevated status and spirit, influence for good, a heart expanded to hold more grace. Touch the tenderness of God's fatherly pride in the disciplined child. Retention signals sonship, and blessings flow as inheritance, emotional security, provision beyond measure, a future secured in eternal arms. Feel the emotional poetry of life, scripted by retention. Days rhyme with purpose, stanzas filled with synchronicity. God's authorship is evident in blessings, Narratives of redemption, verses of victory, a story that moves heavens. Envision the heart's capacity growing, vessel enlarged for greater infilling. Retention prepares the way, and God's Spirit rushes in. Emotional overflow results in blessings, compassion that changes lives, love that transforms communities, grace that echoes eternity. Breathe in the emotional fragrance of a life scented with holiness. Retention distills essence, and God inhales with delight. Blessings perfume the path, favor in eyes of men, peace in trials, a soul aromatic with divine approval. Sense the culmination of retention's emotional journey, a soul fully alive, pulsating with God's vitality. Blessings crown the effort, wholeness in every dimension, joy unspeakable, love that mirrors the divine's own heart. In this sacred practice, feel the ultimate emotional communion. Retention dissolves the veil, uniting practitioner with provider gods. Blessings are not additions, but the very essence eternal life, beginning now. Emotional rapture in His presence forever. Ready to prove you were here? 2 quick things. First, absolutely crush the like button and subscribe. Don't miss the next level of power. For behind-the-scenes insights and direct Q&A, you need to be in the Telegram channel. The link is in the description. Help someone else find their power. Share this video immediately. Go get after it. Let the heart rest in this truth. Semen retention, when offered in love, becomes a signal irresistible to the divine. Blessings follow, not as reward, but as natural outflow of union. Emotional, spiritual, boundless. Finally, embrace the ongoing dance of retention and blessing. Each cycle deepens the emotional bond, widens the channel for grace. God's love, ever faithful, responds with increasing measure until the soul, overflowing, becomes a blessing itself.